There is a quiet truth that often goes unnoticed in the rush of everyday life. Your body has been whispering to you. Not loudly, not urgently, just gently. The way a small lamp glows in a dark room. Maybe you felt it in the mornings. A stiffness that wasn't there before. A heaviness you can't quite explain. Or a soft ache that seems to carry a story of its own. For many people, especially in the later chapters of life, these sensations can feel like signs of decline. But there is another way to see them. What if these aren't signs of weakness, but invitations? Invitations to slow down, to listen, to return to the body you've lived in for decades, the body that has carried your joys, your losses, your long days and your quiet nights without ever asking for much in return. In Buddhist teachings, there's a simple idea. When the mind becomes quiet, the body begins to speak. You may have noticed this in your own life. The moment you pause, really pause, a clarity begins to unfold inside of you. Like mist slowly lifting from a field at dawn. A man from our Wisdom Quiet community once shared, "I'm not healing because I discovered something new. I'm healing because I finally stopped running from myself." Sometimes, that is all it takes. One honest moment of listening. So, before we explore today's journey, may I invite you to take a single slow breath with me. Not to fix anything. Not to accomplish anything, but simply to arrive here, in this moment. Inhale. Gently, feel your ribs expand. Exhale, slowly, and let the noise of the world soften just a little. If this softness speaks to you, if you find comfort in quiet stories, gentle wisdom, and the peaceful space we create together here at Wisdom Quiet, you are warmly welcome to stay. A like, a comment, a subscription, only if it feels natural to you, helps this small circle of calm reach others who may be searching for it now. Let us begin, not with force, not with urgency, but with the quiet understanding that healing begins the moment we choose to listen. Part 1. The quiet truth about healing. What your body has been trying to tell you. There comes a moment in life, usually sometime after 50, when the body begins speaking in a quieter, gentler language, not with pain at first, but with tiny signals that most people overlook. Maybe it happens to you in the early morning. Before the world becomes noisy, your breath feels a little heavier, your knees hesitate before you stand. Or there's a soft ache that feels more like a message than a symptom. Most of us rush past these moments. We label them getting old, or we push them aside and move on with our day. But here is a gentle truth. The body has been trying to share. These sensations are not warnings. They are invitations, observation, listening to the body's whisper. Think back to a morning when you woke up before sunrise. No phone, no conversations. Just the stillness of your breath in a quiet room, in that space. The body often reveals what it cannot say during a busy day. A slight swelling in the fingers, a tightness deep in the stomach, or simply a feeling that your energy arrives more slowly than it used to. These are not failures, not decline. They are information, your body's way of saying, I am still trying to heal you, but I need space to do it. It's easy to miss a whisper when the rest of life is shouting. But those who learn to listen, they age with a different kind of softness. They don't fight their bodies. They walk with them. Inside healing isn't gone. Its interrupted modern life has taught us a difficult belief that healing comes from outside, from medications, supplements, treatments, programs. But ancient wisdom reminds us of something far simpler. Healing is the body's natural rhythm. What disrupts it is the noise of living too fast. Your heart repairs itself every moment. Your skin renews while you sleep. Your cells are constantly replacing what is old with what is new. The body is not a machine wearing down. It is a river in continuous renewal. Yet rivers can become obstructed. Stress tightens the flow. Poor sleep restricts clarity. Constant distraction pulls the body out of alignment with itself. Nothing about your body's ability to heal is broken. It has simply been crowded out by everything that demands your attention. And the moment you give the body quiet, even a little, its healing rhythm begins again. Peace, returning to yourself. So before we move forward, let's take one small step together, the kind of step that brings you home to yourself. Place your hand gently over your chest. Feel the warmth beneath your palm. Take a slow, natural breath in, and let it fall softly on the exhale. No fixing, no forcing, just noticing. This simple awareness is the doorway, not to perfection, but to partnership, you and your body working together again. And as we continue this journey today, you'll begin to understand how simple herbal infusions, moments of stillness, and the wisdom of ancient practice can help awaken the healing that has always lived within you. Part 2. The Buddhist View. Your body as a living river of renewal. There is a quiet teaching in Buddhism that many people hear, but only a few truly understand. The body is not something you possess. It is something you flow through. At first, this sounds mysterious, even contradictory. But once you begin to observe your own body with gentleness, the truth becomes clear. Observation, seeing the body as a river in motion. Imagine sitting beside a river at dusk. The water you see is always changing. New currents, new reflections, new shapes. Yet somehow, the river remains itself. Your body is the same every minute. Millions of cells complete their life cycle. Old ones dissolve, new ones appear. Others transform into something more useful, more alive. Your heartbeat adjusts, your blood renews. Your breath reshapes the way your body feels from moment to moment. You might look in the mirror and think you are one solid person, but internally, you are a landscape of constant movement. A member of our Wisdom Quiet community once wrote, "I used to think my body was breaking down. Now I see it was trying to rebuild itself in a new way." This shift in seeing changes everything. Mini reflection, take a moment. Place one hand on your belly, one on your chest. Notice which one rises first as you breathe. That simple movement is your river speaking. Insight healing flows when we don't resist change. The Buddha taught, what resists, suffers. What flows, heals. In Buddhist understanding, the body and mind are not two. They are two movements of the same river. When the mind tightens with fear, the body tenses. When the mind clings to youth, the body feels old. When the mind resists change, the river becomes blocked. Modern science echoes this truth. Stress hormones slow tissue repair. Tension restricts circulation. Worry disrupts digestion and sleep. It's not that the body can't heal. It's that the mind keeps building small dams across the river. And once we stop fighting, stop forcing, stop fearing every new sensation, the river begins to move again. Healing is not lost. It is simply waiting for flow. Peace returning to the river within you. Let's pause gently for a small practice. Close your eyes if you wish. Imagine a slow river moving through your body, not rushing, not struggling, just moving with a natural intelligence. Inhale, and feel the water rise in your chest. Exhale and feel it soften down through your belly. Inhale, renewal. Exhale, release. With each breath, imagine one tiny obstruction loosening, one area softening, one moment of resistance melting. This is then Han Niyam, awareness of the body as process, not as a problem. When you see yourself this way, as a river instead of a rigid structure, you begin to trust your own healing again. You begin to live with more ease, more compassion for your body, and more patience with your changing form. And in that quiet patience, your river begins to clear. Part 3. Why ancient monastics turned to herbs. The philosophy behind simplicity. Most people today believe herbs were used in ancient monasteries because monks lacked more advanced forms of medicine. But the surprising truth is the opposite. Monks chose herbs not out of limitation, but out of clarity. They understood something. We often forget that the simplest remedies are often the ones that work with the body, not against it. Observation, simplicity was a conscious choice. Not a shortage. Imagine an old mountain monastery, mist settling over stone steps, a wooden door slowly opening to a small kitchen where a single lamp glows beside jars of seeds and herbs. One evening, centuries ago, a young monk fell ill from exhaustion. The elder monk didn't rush for rare medicines. He simply placed a clay cup in the young monk's hands and said, "Warm water, warm breath, warm herb. These three heal more than fear ever will." The young monk recovered within days. Not because the herb was powerful, but because the treatment honored the body's natural rhythm. This is how herbal wisdom was born, not through theory, but through thousands of quiet moments like this, observed over generations. Mini reflection. Think of a time in your life when healing came from something simple. A cup of warm tea, a calm evening, a moment of rest you finally allowed yourself. Your body remembers simplicity. Insight. Herbs heal by cooperation, not control. One of the Buddha's teachings says, when harmony is present, healing follows. This is why monastics favored herbs. Herbs don't force the body into submission. They encourage it back toward balance. They don't silence symptoms. They help the body understand them. To the monks, an herb wasn't just a plant, it was a teacher. Fenugreek taught strength. Coriander taught cooling and clarity. Cumin taught warmth and vitality. Carom taught movement and release. The insight was simple yet profound. Natural remedies work because the body recognizes them. They speak a biological language older than civilization. Modern science now echoes this ancient wisdom. Plants regulate, harmonize, and restore precisely the qualities monastics valued most. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: healing is not an act of force. It is an act of cooperation. Peace, returning to the beauty of the simple pathlet. Pause for a breath, a gentle stepping back into the quiet wisdom of simplicity. Inhale. Feel the body rise just a little, like steam lifting from a warm cup. Exhale. Let the tension soften, the way a leaf falls effortlessly from a tree. Now imagine yourself in that monastery kitchen, the soft light, the scent of seeds soaking in warm water, the calm presence of the elder monk, healing. In its purest form was never complicated. It was mindful. It was simple. It was human, and as we walk further into this journey, you will begin to see how each of these 4 herbs not only supports the body, but also teaches a way of living that is slower, kinder, and deeply aligned with nature. Part 4. the ancient practice of overnight soaking, where simplicity meets science. Most people assume healing requires something strong, fast, or modern. But in Buddhist tradition, the opposite is often true. The gentlest methods are the ones that reach the deepest. This is why monks cherished a simple nightly ritual, a practice so quiet and unhurried that visitors often mistook it for nothing more than habit. But it wasn't habit. It was wisdom, observation, healing that begins in the quiet hours of night every evening in old monasteries. After the final chanting faded and lanterns dimmed, a monk would fill a small clay bowl with cool water and add a handful of seeds or herbs. No boiling, no fire, no rush, just the seeds settling at the bottom like stars sinking into a night sky. An elder monk once told a novice, hot water forces, cool water invites. And the monks began noticing something profound. Herbs soaked overnight became softer, calmer, more harmonious with the body. Fenugreek released soothing mucin. Coriander cooled the body's excess heat. Cumin shed its harshness and revealed warmth. Carom lost its sharp bite and became medicine. Nothing dramatic. Just nature unfolding truth at its own slow pace. Mini reflection. Think of one part of your life that softened not through effort, but through patience. That's the nature of soaking. Pause. A breath before insight. Before we go deeper, take a slow inhale, a gentle exhale, and notice how even this small pause changes the quality of your awareness. This is the same shift that soaking creates in the herbs. Insight, why soaking works. The wisdom behind the method, long before chemistry existed. Monks observed what modern science later confirmed: cold soaking extracts, minerals and delicate compounds that heat would destroy. It preserves the plant's subtle intelligence, the compounds responsible for calming, cooling, or nourishing the body. It predigests the herb, making it gentler for aging digestion. Slow infusion creates deeper absorption, especially in the morning when the body is empty and receptive. But the deepest wisdom wasn't chemical, it was spiritual. The Buddha once said, "Do not hurry. The flower blooms when ready." To the monks, herbs were the same. Soaking overnight was a meditation, a recognition that healing doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to space. Herbs infused overnight become medicine. A mind infused with quiet becomes clear. A body infused with patience becomes receptive. Soaking was never just a method. It was a teaching, peace, bringing the ritual into your own life. Take a soft breath with me now. Inhale, feel the chest lift. Exhale, feel your body settle like a bowl placed gently on a table. Now picture your kitchen tonight, a glass, a few seeds, cool water rising around them, the stillness of night doing its quiet work. When you prepare herbal water this way, you're not merely making a drink. You're creating a small sanctuary, a moment where your life pauses long enough for healing to begin. And when morning comes, you aren't just drinking herbs. You're drinking the softness of night, the patience of stillness, the gentle unfolding of something ancient and wise. This is why monks soaked their herbs overnight. Not because they had little, but because they saw clearly that healing begins when life slows down enough to allow it now. You were ready to meet the first of these 4 sacred herbs and the wisdom it carries. Part 5. Herb number 1. Fenugreek seeds, the seed that softens what life has hardened most. People believe the strongest medicines are the loudest ones. Bitter tonics, powerful pills, forceful treatments. But in Buddhist monasteries, healing often began with something very different. A tiny seed that heals by softening. Fenugreek, golden, quiet, overlooked, yet capable of awakening a strength that doesn't shout, doesn't rush, doesn't overwhelm. Monks called it the seed of quiet resilience. Observation: what softens, heals. Hold a fenugreek seed in your hand. It's hard as a pebble. But leave it overnight in cool water, and by dawn the seed swells, softens, opens. A senior monk once told a young novice, "Hardness protects, softness restores." That sentence stayed in the novice's heart for years. He later remembered it when a weary traveler arrived at the monastery, exhausted, foggy-minded, worn down by decades of stress. Instead of complex remedies, the monk offered him something simple: a small bowl of soaked fenugreek seeds each morning at sunrise. Weeks passed. The man didn't just look healthier, he looked lighter, as if a quiet burden had been lifted from within. When another traveler asked what the remedy was, the monk smiled and replied, "Not the seeds. The softening." Pause. A breath before insight. Before we go deeper, let's pause for just a moment. Take a gentle breath in, a slower breath out. Feel the body settle, the mind loosen its edges. This is the same shift that soaking creates in the seeds. Insight: why fenugreek works with the body instead of against it. Long before anyone measured blood sugar or inflammation, monks sensed that fenugreek helped the body return to balance. Now science explains why. 1. It stabilizes blood sugar, the gentle wits. Soluble fibers slow absorption, protecting older bodies from spikes that drain energy. 2. It soothes the digestive system overnight. Mucilage coats the stomach and intestines with a calming, healing softness. 3. It reduces inflammation, deeply quietly easing joint stiffness, swelling, and the subtle aches that come with age. For it supports hormonal balance, especially comforting for women in menopause or anyone feeling inner rhythms shift with time. 5. It builds natural energy without stimulation, not a spike, not a crash, just a slow returning vitality that feels like coming home to yourself. A revered monk once said, "The body is like a guest. If you force it, it leaves. If you welcome it, it heals." Fenugreek welcomes the body back into harmony, not by pushing it, but by reminding it of its original balance. Peace, a morning ritual that feels like kindness. Let's take another soft breath together. Inhale, exhale. Let the body settle deeper into the moment. Now imagine tomorrow morning, your kitchen is quiet. A glass sits on the counter, filled the night before with cool water and a teaspoon of fenugreek. Seeds resting at the bottom like tiny golden stones. You lift the glass slowly. You drink without hurry. You feel the coolness, the softness, the gentle nourishment moving through you. Nothing dramatic, nothing forced, just a moment of kindness directed toward the body that has carried you through every chapter of your life. Fenugreek teaches us this simple truth. Healing begins the moment we soften, and now, you are ready to meet the second herb, coriander, the cooling seed that clears the body, the way fresh rain clears the sky. Part 6, herb number 2, coriander seeds, the cooling seed that clears heat without dimming your inner fire. Most people think cooling the body means losing strength, but in Buddhist tradition, the coolest remedies were the ones that restored the deepest energy, and among them, coriander was the monks' quiet favorite. They described it simply: cool the heat, not the life within it. Observation, a seed that cleanses without taking anything away. Crush a coriander seed lightly between your fingers and it releases a soft, bright aroma, something between citrus and sunlight. A fragrance that feels like a sigh of relief. Monks believed this aroma carried a message, a gentle reminder that the body sometimes needs less fire, more clarity. There is an old story about a traveling monk who descended into the hot valleys of northern India. The heat was relentless. His breath grew warm, his digestion tight and unsettled, his mind restless during meditation. One evening, as he sat alone, a wave of discomfort rose through him, a burning in his chest, a heaviness behind his eyes. The kind of inner heat that makes the world feel too loud. Sensing his struggle, the elder monks prepared a bowl of coriander water soaked overnight, cooled by darkness, simple as moonlight in a cup. For 3 mornings he drank it, and slowly the heat inside him loosened, like embers settling beneath soft ashdot. When he expressed gratitude, the elder simply said, "The body is clear when the heart stops burning against itself." Pause before insight. Let the body cool a little, breathe in slowly. Let the breath lift your ribs, and exhale even more slowly, feeling the temperature inside you soften in the quiet after the breath leaves. This is the nature of coriander, cooling without extinguishing, clarifying without stripping. Insight: why coriander works like inner rain. Long before science measured inflammation or acidity, monks observed coriander working the way rain works, not by fighting dryness, but by softening it. It cools inflammation the way shade cools skin. Coriander's natural compounds ease irritation not through force, but through gentle settling. It clears the kidneys without draining the body. It encourages flow, the release of what's stagnant while keeping the body nourished and steady. It digestive heat for older bodies that struggle with acidity, bloating, or heaviness after meals. Coriander brings a calm lightness that feels almost immediate. It softens the tension in the blood vessels. The quiet relaxation of circulation helps lower pressure without weakening the pulse. It brightens the skin by cooling the blood. Monks believed when the blood cools, the face becomes true again. And there is a teaching from the Buddha that says, clarity arises when heat is released from the mind. Coriander works in the body much like clarity works in the heart. Quietly, steadily, without argument, peace, a ritual of cooling space and soft relief. Take one more soft breath with me. Inhale. Sense the body open like a cool window. Exhale. Feel the heat dissolve a little deeper. Now imagine tonight in your own home, you crush a tablespoon of coriander seeds, just enough to open their scent. You place them in a glass of cool water. During the night, the water absorbs their calm, the same way a still lake absorbs moonlight. By morning, you lift the glass gently and drink slowly without hurrying, letting the coolness move through you like the first breeze after a long summer day. This simple ritual doesn't fight your body. It gives your body space to release what it's been holding. Coriander teaches a quiet truth. Healing is often not addition. It is subtraction, the letting go of heat, noise, and burden. In the next part of our journey, you'll meet the warming seed, cumin. The herb monks used to rekindle internal fire with wisdom, not force. Part 7. Herb number 3. Cumin seeds. The warming seed that rekindles your inner fire. Gently, most people fear heat as they grow older, but in Buddhist healing traditions, the elders taught something surprising. Aging cools the body, wisdom warms it, and the warmth they meant was not the heat that burns, but the heat that awakens, the heat that feels like life returning. For this, monks turned to one small seed that carried the scent of earth, kitchen, and home: cumin. Observation: the seed that awakens what time has quieted. If you breathe in the scent of cumin seeds, you'll notice an earthy warmth rising, not sharp, not fiery, but comforting, grounding, familiar, like opening the door to a room where a lantern has been quietly burning all evening. There is a story from a cold, windswept monastery where a young monk spent long winter months in deep meditation. Slowly, the mountain cold seeped into his body, his digestion weakened, his appetite faded, and the spark behind his eyes grew dim. One evening, he confessed to the elder monk, "I feel like a lantern whose flame is too tired to rise." The elder observed him silently, the shallow breath, the slow pulse, the heaviness in the belly that cold seasons bring. So he prepared something simple: cumin seeds soaked overnight, then gently warmed at dawn until the steam rose like soft prayer. But before drinking it, the young monk experienced a shadowed moment, a doubt, a quiet fear. What if my fire doesn't return? The elder placed a hand on his back and said, "Fire never disappears. It only waits for warmth." Day after day, the monk drank the warm cumin infusion. His breath deepened, his appetite awoke, and a subtle strength rose through him like embers glowing back to life. Pause a moment to feel your own inner lantern place. One hand gently over your lower belly. Breathe in. Feel the hand lift with warmth. Breathe out. Feel the body soften as the inner lantern steadies. This small warmth you feel, this is the warmth cumin supports. Insight: why cumin rekindles the body without overheating. Cumin does not act like chili or pepper. Its heat is wiser, quieter, the kind that nourishes instead of overwhelms. It wakes the digestive fire without burning. Buddhist monks believed digestion was like a hearth. When it burns too low, life dims. Cumin helps that hearth glow again. It restores nourishment in aging bodies. As we age, the body absorbs less from food. Cumin gently reopens the pathways of absorption, so nutrients actually reach the places that need them. It removes stagnation, bloating, heaviness, sluggishness. Cumin moves these quietly without irritation. It brings back natural energy, not excitement, not stimulation, just the steady vitality of a lantern recovering its flame. It clears the mind by warming that center. Monks observed, when the belly sleeps, the mind becomes cloudy. As digestion wakes, clarity follows. It balances the coldness of later life. After 55, the inner body cools, metabolism slows, circulation softens, energy lowers. Cumin warms this gently, helping the inner systems remember their original rhythm. The teaching from the Buddha says, the middle way is neither cold nor burning, but a warm steadiness. Cumin is that warmth. Peace, a morning ritual that feels like reclaiming your flame. Take a slow breath. Inhale, feel warmth rise under your palm. Exhale, feel a softness spread inside. Now imagine tomorrow morning, you warm your cumin infusion, just enough to feel like holding a small sunrise. You wrap both hands around the cup, feeling its gentle heat seep into your palms. You take one slow sip, and then another. letting the warmth travel down into the belly like a lantern being relit after a long winter night. Nothing rushed, nothing forced, just warmth returning to the place where life begins. Kuman reminds us, strength is not a spark. It is a quiet fire kept alive with care, and with your fire gently restored, you are ready to meet the fourth and final herb, Karam, the seed monks used when the body felt stuck, tense, or burdened. Part 8, Herb number 4. Karam seeds, the sharp seed that brings the softest relief. Most people assume that anything sharp or intense must be harsh on the body. But in Buddhist healing traditions, the opposite was often true. What is sharp to the tongue is soft to the suffering within. Karam seeds, tiny, fragrant, unexpectedly potent, were treasured by monks because they brought relief, not by overpowering the body, but by freeing what had been trapped for too long. They called it the seed that unblocks. And as we age, so much of our discomfort comes from what becomes stuck in the breath, in the gut, in the emotions we quietly carry. Observation, a seed that clears what refuses to move. Crush a Karam seed between your fingers, and a warm, piercing aroma rises like a small candle flame cutting through a dark room. It's not violent, it's clarifying. There is a monastery story of a young monk whose abdomen had tightened after years of silent endurance. His breath shortened, his meals sat heavy, his heart felt pressed by a weight he couldn't name. One night, during meditation, a sudden wave of pressure rose inside him, sharp, trapped, overwhelming. He leaned forward, hands on his stomach, fear flickering across his face. He whispered, "I feel as if something inside me is locked and cannot find its way out." The elder monk approached, carrying a warm cup of Karam infusion. The aroma was intense, almost confronting. The young monk hesitated. "What if this is too strong for me?" he asked. The elder smiled gently. "The body is not afraid of strength. It is afraid of what never moves." He drank. Minutes passed. His breath grew deeper. The pressure softened. The knots inside, physical and emotional, loosened like a rope, finally releasing. The elder then recited a simple teaching. To let go is to stop holding what hurts. Pause, a breath that opens space before we continue. Place one hand on your belly and one hand over your chest. Inhale slowly. Feel the top hand rise with the heart. Exhale gently. Feel the lower hand soften as the body creates a little more space. This softening, this opening, is the nature of Karam. Insight, why Karam clears the body quickly, yet kindly. Karam is the most immediate of the 4 herbs, but it does not force relief. It invites movement. It releases trapped gas and internal pressure. Karam relaxes tight, smooth muscles, giving the intestines and diaphragm the freedom to move again. It opens restricted breath tension. Anxiety and years of holding often compress the diaphragm. Karam helps the breath, UNSTICK. It shifts stagnant energy. Monks describe this as clearing wind knots. The invisible tensions caused by stress and emotion. It dissolves pain caused by tightness, not by numbing, but by allowing the root tension to unravel. It warms in a clean, bright wit's heat cuts through stagnation like a single ray of morning sun entering a cold room. Zen saying expresses it perfectly. Relief comes not from escape, but from the moment movement returns. Karam restores that movement. Peace, a ritual of gentle, honest release. Take a soft breath with me. Inhale, sense the body rise with possibility. Exhale, feel the tightness unravel just a little. Tonight, imagine preparing your Karam infusion. a half teaspoon of seeds resting in cool water overnight, quietly infusing their clarity. In the morning, you warm it gently, not boiling, just enough to feel like warmth meeting a cold memory. You hold the cup with both hands, take a slow sip, and notice something shift. A breath deepens, a knot loosens. A long-held weight lightens without fanfare, nothing forced, nothing exaggerated, just release, quiet, natural, deserved. Karam teaches a truth many people learn late in life. We do not heal by holding on. We heal by letting go. And now, with all 4 herbs understood, you are ready to bring them together into a single, harmonious morning practice that supports the whole body. Part 9. The Morning Ritual, where all 4 herbs become one path. Most people think 4 herbs mean for different solutions. But in Buddhist monasteries, monks often said something quite the opposite. Many remedies, one rhythm, one peace. Because true healing did not come from what they drank, but from how they welcomed the morning dot. After all our exploration, this is where the journey settles. The moment when the 4 herbs stop being separate techniques and become one gentle, daily ritual that reshapes your inner landscape. Observation: why the ritual matters more than the herbs there is a quiet truth monks often repeated. The body does not heal faster by doing more. It heals deeper by doing regularly. And as we grow older, the body becomes less responsive to intensity and more responsive to consistency, steady rhythms, soft beginnings, peaceful transitions. A ritual gives your body something the modern world rarely provides. A predictable kindness, repeated every morning. Let me share something real. There was an elderly man who visited a monastery in Thailand each winter. He had lived a full, busy life, work, deadlines, obligations. But in his 60s, mornings became difficult. He woke up with tightness in his chest, a restless stomach, and a mind already racing before he even stepped out of bed. A monk told him simply, begin your morning slowly, so the rest of the day does not run away with you. He began practicing the herbal morning ritual, not for dramatic results, but for a gentler start. And one day he told the monk, I don't know if I'm healthier, but I finally feel like my mornings belong to me again. That feeling is the beginning of healing. Pause. Picture your quiet morning. Take a breath with me. Imagine your home before sunrise. The light is soft. The world is not asking anything of you yet. You walk into the kitchen. The herbal glass you prepared last night waits there quietly, almost like a friend who kept watch while you slept. You pick it up. You breathe once, and the day begins slowly, not with urgency, but with presence. Hold that image for a moment. Let your shoulders soften. This is the environment where the herbs do their deepest work. Insight: 2 simple ways to combine the 4 herbs. Healing doesn't require rigid rules. It simply needs regularity. Below are the 2 ways monks traditionally practiced. Option 1, 1 herb per day. A natural weekly rhythm day, 1 fenugreek, grounding. Stabilizing day, 2 coriander, clearing, cooling day. 3, cumin, warming. Strengthening day for karam. Releasing day, 5 to 7. Repeat based on how your body feels. This mirrors the monastic week: varied, intentional, balanced. Option 2. Choose 1 herb for 30 days. Monks often followed one path at a time. They believed a single practice done with devotion carries you farther than many practices done quickly. If 1 herb resonates with your needs, stay with it for a month. Your body will show you when it's time to shift. Your morning ritual, simple, slow. Sacred, prepare the herb at night. This signals to the body, tomorrow begins gently. Drink slowly in the morning, before conversation, before screens, before the world enters. Take 3 mindful breaths. This anchors your nervous system into a state of calm. Notice one small change, a lighter belly, a deeper breath, a softer mind. Carry that softness into the day. Let it influence how you walk, speak, and choose. This ritual is not about perfection. It is about orientation, beginning your day facing peace, not pressure. Peace, what awakens after a month of consistency, when the 4 herbs are woven into a steady ritual. Something beautiful begins to happen. Life feels less rushed, less heavy, less reactive. People notice, mornings feel. Common digestion feels less stubborn, becomes easier sleep. Weight lifts, quiet, live mind doesn't jump as fast. Gratitude appears more naturally, but the deepest transformation is rarely physical. It is this: peace returns. Peace that was lost, perhaps slowly, over years of responsibility and worry. Peace that reminds you your body can still open, your breath can still soften, your mornings can still be yours. This ritual is not a cure. It is a companion, one that walks with you gently into the next, wiser chapter of your life. Part 10. The closing. Returning to the place you never truly left. Endings are strange things. We often think they close a chapter, but in Buddhist teachings, endings do something different. Every ending is a returning, and as we arrive at the end of this journey together, I invite you to pause just for a breath and notice that you are returning to something quietly familiar inside you, not something new, not something you had to earn, but something that has always lived beneath the noise. A gentle relationship with your own body. The older we get, the more life we've carried, responsibility, loss, pressure, memories. Our bodies have held decades of what we never had time to set down. So if your body feels tired, or tense, or disconnected, there is nothing wrong with you. You have simply lived deeply, and now you are learning how to live more gently, a quiet teaching for this moment in the monastic tradition. Monks end their day not with achievement, but with gratitude. When the evening bell rings across the temple grounds, it is said to remind the monks, nothing is missing, nothing is late, nothing needs to be chased. And that is the message I offer you now. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are simply returning to the part of yourself that remembers peace. A closing blessing for your path. May your mornings soften. May your breath deepen. May your digestion calm. May your mind grow spacious. May your heart feel lighter. May you walk through your days with a gentle steadiness that surprises even you. And above all, may you feel supported by the simple truth that you do not heal by force. You heal by kindness. Kindness toward your body, your past, your breath, your pace, your life. If this video offered you clarity, peace, or simply a moment of stillness, I warmly welcome you to share that with us. Leave a comment below and tell us which parts spoke to you. Your words may comfort someone you'll never meet, but who needs exactly what you just wrote. And if you wish to continue walking this path with us, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to the Wisdom Quiet channel. Share it with someone who needs softer mornings, not out of obligation, but out of compassion, because these teachings may reach a heart that is struggling in silence. Before we close, place one hand gently over your chest Inhale. Feel the chest rise, as if the body quietly says, I'm here. Exhale. Feel the weight drop from your shoulders, as if life suddenly becomes a little more possible. This is your refuge, always available, always waiting, always ready for your return. Thank you for spending this time with me and with the Wisdom Quiet community. Until our next video, may you be healthy. May you be peaceful. May your days unfold with kindness and clarity. This is Wisdom Quiet, where ancient Buddhist wisdom meets the quiet healing of everyday life.